Well, good morning. Good morning to all of you, and thank each and every one of you for being here this morning. Today we are here, we're announcing a better way to help people who are homeless, a big step that is going to change lives. These are extraordinary times, and it requires extraordinary action. That's why today I'm announcing the opening of a transitional camp area for homeless individuals, right here. The mission of this area is very simple: to make sure more homeless men and women are in a safe and clean space, and fewer homeless men and women are sleeping on sidewalks and in neighborhoods. I'll say that again. This will mean more homeless in this transitional area and fewer homeless out on our streets. This is what unsheltered San Diegans need. This is what our city needs. Homelessness is our number one social service issue right now. And over the past many years and multiple administrations, there has been missed opportunities to better prepare us for this homeless crisis. And over those many years, the state has reduced housing funds for blighted communities, red tape has made housing more expensive, and local legal actions have led to the proliferation of people camping in public areas. And our local bureaucracy, politics, and sometimes unwillingness to make unpopular decisions has also contributed to the problem. I ran for mayor because I love our city and I want to make it better. Better for our families, better for our neighborhoods, and better for people who are often overlooked and who don't have a voice. Together, we can shape what happens next. This is an important time for our city. We can keep doing the same things and hope for different results, or we can say enough is enough and do whatever it takes to clean our city and make it safe for everyone in it. That's where this transitional camp area comes in. It's one of several major efforts happening right now to combat homelessness. I want every San Diegan to hear us loud and clear. We are going to clean up our city because no one should be sleeping on a sidewalk and in unsanitary conditions. We are going to provide homeless individuals the safe place that they are looking for and provide San Diego neighborhoods the relief that they have been calling for. I'm bringing all of the power of my office to bear to eliminate red tape where possible, to ensure that we are acting quickly and effectively. And that's what we have done today. If you're wondering why we didn't use this large plot of land before, the answer is simple. It's because it's not vacant. This is the city's operations yard, where many government employees work every day. I've used my authority to direct a large portion of these operations moved elsewhere, so we can use this space for urgent need. On this site, which includes more than 4 acres of dedicated parkland, we are going to provide showers, restrooms, and storage for people's belongings, and brand new tents provided by members of our business community. Each person will be assigned a 13 by 13 foot space where they can set up their tents and rest their heads. This site will be able to accommodate more than 200 people. And our expectation is that these individuals will move from this site into the temporary bridge shelters when they are operational in just a couple months. And from there, care providers will work to transition folks into permanent supportive housing, which is the end goal. This transitional camp area will be a place that is clean. It will be a more humane environment in which our most vulnerable can live. And it will open this coming Monday. I want to take a moment to recognize the group with us here today who represent some of our local and regional leaders on this issue. The work being done by the Regional Task Force on the Homelessness and the city's Select Committee on Homelessness are extremely important part of the solution. We are moving many of their good ideas forward. And we need the County of San Diego and the other 17 cities in the region, the business community, nonprofit service providers, and more to all continue to join together to play a role. Because this affects all of us. We all share in this responsibility. And what you see behind me today are people that have been working very hard in collaboration with a results-oriented focus. So I'm going to turn it over to the other speakers, beginning with Councilmember Chris Ward, whose district this site resides in. Finding a location for a transitional camping area like this is not easy, and it's not always popular, but it's necessary, and it's the right thing to do. Councilmember Ward is chair of our Select Committee on Homelessness and has been a great partner in seeking both short and long-term solutions for the homeless population. First up is Councilmember Chris Ward. Councilmember?
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. This is an amazing day. This is going to be an amazing project, an amazing step forward in our ability to immediately help those facing homelessness and immediately help the impacts that our neighborhoods have been enduring. And so I am so glad, as our plane flies overhead, I am so glad that we are starting to move forward on some of the immediate opportunities to expand our responses to address the crisis that we are in under hepatitis A conditions. As chair of the Council's Select Committee on Homelessness and as vice chair of the Regional Task Force on Homeless, we have seen the data and we have gotten deep into the best practices for what temporary, short-term, and long-term responsibilities we need to embark on. Council just approved this past Monday a renewed shelter crisis declaration in response to the hepatitis A conditions, and we have to push forward on comprehensive action now to address this crisis. My office started putting ideas like this today forward in March, and I am so pleased that we are able to start to unlock this opportunity, and we have more to look forward to. Since then, we've been able to drill down into the details and figure out what more can work. We have been pushing for safe camping as one of the ways to address homelessness short term as we ramp up our Housing First plans long term, and I'm so glad that we're moving forward today. It's been clear throughout the year that a comprehensive regional approach is needed, and that means every location and every option needs to be on the table. San Diegans, we cannot say no. There will always be an obstacle. There will always be a challenge, and our job as public officials to figure out how to get to yes, how to try to remove the red tape, overcome some of the bureaucracy and the barriers, and make sure that we are expanding opportunities while protecting our neighborhoods, which is why this is just the first of what I hope is going to be a pilot program to temporarily get people off of our streets in an uncoordinated way and into safe camping areas that will be able to address their needs and reduce impacts on neighborhoods. I will continue to push for SDCCU Stadium lot and the sports arena site and many other city-owned parcels, but we can't do that on their own. So I see a lot of cameras and a lot of attention here this morning, and my call is to our partners across the county for the leadership in El Cajon and in Escondido and San Marcos and Chula Vista. 40% of our region's homeless are outside of the city of San Diego, and we need you to step up too. We need you to look within and look at parcels and opportunity sites within your jurisdictions, because this is going to take all of us coming together looking for creative solutions like this here today to be able to get this job done for the region. Having homeless on our streets and in our neighborhoods is not, in our canyons, it's not a solution in any neighborhood. The communities that I represent here in District 3 have felt that acutely. It is clear that with 17 dead and hundreds hospitalized, we are in a specific short-term crisis that demands immediate action. So this transitional camp area, especially as our sanitation efforts continue to address public health concerns, provides a place for people to go rather than just moving them from place to place. It is temporary. As you heard the mayor say, we are going to relocate individuals here to our transitional bridge facilities when they open in a few months' time. It is going to help the most vulnerable. My goal is to make sure that we are protecting seniors and children and women who are on the streets of downtown San Diego, who are accosted in the middle of the night, who are in unsafe conditions, who are ready for housing, and who just need that safe space to exist and get off of our streets and feel safe. It also provides us the opportunity to direct services. You can imagine there is no good way to be able to provide sanitation, restrooms, mental health services, housing navigation, social workers, when everything is so uncoordinated and spread out across the map. This is going to allow us to be able to direct all of those services here in a group that is going to help 200 individuals at a time with those very services that they need. District 3 communities, we're the epicenter of the homelessness crisis, and we will take on much of the response. But as I said, we're going to continue to work throughout the city and the region for additional opportunity sites because we have to. And we certainly understand, and I'm going to speak to my neighbors here in Golden Hill and across District 3, we absolutely understand the concerns and the impacts that you might expect a facility like this is going to incur. And so we are committed, and I'm so grateful that the mayor and our police chief here are committed to enhance public safety measures to make sure that this does not become a magnet, this does not become a gravitation point that draws in additional issues, but rather that we keep this safe space, that we keep the environment around this space safe, and that we continue to make sure that our number one priority as San Diegan officials is to keep our neighborhoods safe. So thank you for everybody that you see behind us today for coming together to put a good face on this, to put a concerted effort forward, to try something new, to act, because the crisis here that we are facing here in San Diego around homelessness demands it, and I'm just so pleased that we are coming together and unlocking these opportunities. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Ward. Next up is our county supervisor, Supervisor Ron Roberts, who also chairs the Regional Task Force on the Homeless. And Supervisor, thank you for your continued, not just hard work, but determination and diligence, the city and the county working so closely together. Supervisor Roberts.
Thank you, Mayor Faulconer, and good morning to everyone here. I want to start by saying that interim solutions are generally not advisable for trying to solve the homeless problem. We have a housing crisis in San Diego County, and it's a housing first approach that will ultimately bring us out of this crisis. But today, we're dealing with a number of things, including a hepatitis A outbreak that is unique in the United States, and it's jeopardizing the lives of the vulnerable populations, especially those on the street. As of yesterday, we have identified another 20 cases, which brings us to 481 total cases in San Diego, 337 hospitalizations, which is up 22 from last week, and 17 deaths, which has not changed, fortunately. So I support Mayor Faulconer in this interim step. Between him and the city council, they're doing the right things for taking the step to provide the homeless with a place of respite that includes sanitary facilities. And I don't think they could have had a better operator for this facility than Bob McElroy and his team at the Alpha Project. The county is going to support this transitional camp through personnel and through services. Teams such as our PERT teams, our psychiatric emergency response teams that deal with the mentally ill, will be here. Our HOT teams, which are our homeless outreach teams that allow eligibility workers to work with the homeless to see if they qualify for other benefits and things that can be of help, like CalFresh and Medi-Cal. And our FOOT teams, which consist of an army of public health nurses today that are vaccinating and attempting to vaccinate everybody who's out there in the homeless community and anybody who's coming in contact with the homeless community. And I would say that the emphasis is still on that. We're offering similar support to other cities, and we hope, as Councilman Ward mentioned, that they will step up to the plate and see that there's something for them to do, and this is an example of how they can get people in a better environment even without the ultimate solutions in place. The county has been spending an extra $1 million a month now on this epidemic. And that does include the 30,000 units of vaccine that we just ordered for the extraordinary effort to get people vaccinated. Our efforts to immunize the critical at-risk communities continues unabated, and I expect that we will soon pass the 50,000 number if we haven't already. By continuing to look forward and by following the advice of our medical professionals and the Center for Disease Control, who incidentally I'll be meeting with again this afternoon I met with them in Washington last week. We teleconferenced in with the Atlanta officials, and they have been extraordinarily helpful from March of this past year. They have sent personnel here to help us. They have provided professional advice, and they have helped us to monitor the situation and to take the right steps. We are going to, with that kind of support, get this epidemic behind us. I feel confident in that. And we've got to stay the course, keep vaccinating people, increase to the extent possible our outreach, and work together with our many community partners. I'm very pleased with what the city is doing here today, and I look forward to when we close this down, because we've moved people into the shelters and into the transitional housing and into the permanent housing. That's really the end game for all of this. So thank you all for your help, and thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you. As Supervisor Roberts just said, can't say enough about Bob McElroy and the Alpha Project team, some of which are standing behind me today. The work that's been doing, particularly over the last several weeks, not only to get this site up and ready, but obviously on the bridge shelters that are coming soon, 24/7. Bob, thank you, you and your team, for being here, and invite you to the podium to say a few words.
Thanks, Kevin and Chris and Ron and Shelley and Roy and Casey and Jonathan and everybody that have taken this first step in a creating a safe and humane opportunity for those folks that are on the streets right now. Our priority is to address the most vulnerable first: seniors, disabled, women, and children. Those who have been out in the streets the longest will get priority here. I want to stress to the neighborhoods that we hope to have zero impact on this neighborhood. We will have no walk-ups to this facility. Everybody that comes to and from this facility will be transported on a shuttle system. So my message to the guys living up on the side of the hill over here: don't walk up to this facility, because you'll not get in. We will come and get you and transport you to medical appointments and any other needs that you may have in the downtown area. So there'll be nobody walking up to this facility. We have a commitment not only to the homeless, but also to the community, in which has the courage, Chris, to put this in your district. We'll make it happen. We always do. We're looking forward to it. We have the best team in the business. And with the cooperation that we've had, certainly from Kevin's office and Chris's office and Ron in the county, this is going to be a model. We're going to make this place bulletproof, so other communities will say, you know what, we want to put one of those and start in our neighborhood and start addressing the issues that we have there. So as I said, we've got a tremendous amount of work to do. We're looking forward to it. We're excited. And come and see us when we're open next week. Amen? Come on, you guys can say amen. I know you're media. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you. Thank you, Bob. Well, very well done. You can see the passion and support not only from Bob, but the entire Alpha team. And again, I can't say the tireless work and effort in conjunction with our city team, Stacy Lemetico, Jonathan Herrera, all of us. I did want to introduce one more speaker, Peter Seidler, who is, I think many of you know, along with Dan Shea, helping to organize a lot of great people in the business community to help out and support on financial contributions. Again, showing the entire city is working together on this. Peter, I want to thank you for all of your help and efforts and support. There you are, and invite you up to say a few words. Peter Seidler.
I'll keep my comments brief, but along with Dan Shea and other serious, impactful business leaders in San Diego, we have worked extremely hard over the past approximately 18 months in every way to work with these people behind me, and basically a band of volunteers with the commonality of two things. We absolutely love this city, and as I've come to know the people back here, it inspires me to work with each and every one of them. I love the comments personally that Kevin, Chris, Ron, and Bob made. I'm going to focus on one thing that Bob said, and he said he's going to make this, we all are, a model so that other areas want to replicate this model, and I believe that is where San Diego is going. We have a problem right now, and people, my colleagues here, and I consider them all colleagues because I work closely with all of them, we're putting things into action. There's been all sorts of serious and focused analysis. As Ron Roberts said, housing first is the holy grail. That's where we need to be. But to get there, we're going to save lives. We're going to bring our homeless number down. We're going to bring our unsheltered number down. We're certainly going to bring the number of deaths that we've had in San Diego down. And we're all doing it by the combination of following the facts and taking action steps that we know will work. And we're doing it from a place that we all have of love for this city. This is such a great city. And I'll close by saying what Bob said, the word he used, Bob McElroy. We're going to make this area, which is opening on Monday, a model. That will happen. And I think bigger picture than that, if you look forward a little bit, I would say 18 months or so, other cities around this country are going to look at San Diego as a model, as a best-in-class city on the issue of homelessness. And speaking for the business community, all the people that I interact with completely donate their time and volunteer their time, and most of us have a philanthropic side to this as well. We're going to collaborate with Kevin and City Council and Ron Roberts and the county and others that'll make a constructive difference here. So I thank all of you for just being really good partners to work with. And where we are right now is taking action steps that are really going to make an impactful difference. This is a big one, and I'm delighted to be here. As many of you know, I take midnight, 2 a.m., whatever, walks around the city. I interact with homeless people. So I'm drinking some kind of crazy kombucha drink here to keep me going at 8 o'clock in the morning. But it's great to be here, and thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, my man. Thank you, Peter. Thank you again to all of our partners. Gordon from the Regional Task Force, Rick Gentry of our Housing Commission, as I said before, our Chief of Police, everybody from the city, Alpha Project. Pause here a second. Councilmember Ward and his entire team. It's everybody working together. That's how we're going to make progress. So I'm very excited about today's announcement and the opening on Monday. Thank you all for being here as well and getting the word out. I will pause now. Everybody up here today will be available for any one-on-one interviews. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you.